In this channel, I take you to some of the world's most exclusive 3 Michelin star restaurants. My name is Alexander, I'm the co-owner of a 1 Michelin star restaurant, and I am on a mission to find inspiration in gastronomy. Welcome to Alexander the Guest. We are going to England, to a lovely town about an hour's drive from London. That town is Bray. In 1995, a man buys a rundown pub and turns it into a restaurant he calls Fat Duck, our restaurant for today. By 2004, it has gained 3 Michelin stars, and in 2005, it's voted #1 in the world's 50 best restaurants. Not bad for a self-taught chef. So who is he? Well, that would be Heston Blumenthal. Often described as a mad scientist of food, Heston Blumenthal was born in London in 1966. He had his first taste of fine dining at the age of 15 on a family holiday in France. That experience would shape his life. He taught himself the basics of French cuisine and spent the next 10 years visiting France and doing research. And he became a pioneer in multi-sensory cooking, bringing science to the kitchen to move our senses, emotions, and memories with food. He got a lot of attention for his unusual flavor combinations, like bacon and egg ice cream and snail porridge. Queen Elizabeth II was a big fan. In 2006, she awarded Heston an OBE. He also got his own personal coat of arms. And in 2012, he was asked to create the menu for the Queen's Diamond Jubilee. He's also the first chef recognized by the Royal Society of Chemistry. Today, he's a celebrity chef and a cultural icon. He owns 3 restaurants now with a total of 6 Michelin stars. But the Fat Duck is where it all started. It's the closest to Heston's heart. For 20 years, the Fat Duck has been focused on one thing: the guest experience. My teenage daughter and I walk down High Street in Bray, along a row of classic cottages, looking for the Fat Duck. We arrive at the address, but there is no sign, only clues. There is a spatula in the shape of a duck's foot and a brass sign with a coat of arms and the words, "Question everything." We found it. As we are taking photos outside, a hostess comes out and greets us. She offers to help and even goes across the street to get the best photo for us. The Fat Duck is scoring points, and we haven't even entered yet. Inside we find small rooms with round tables and long white tablecloths. It's cozy, but not cramped. There are 42 seats, and from what we are told, there are 42 kitchen staff, 1 for every guest. We heard a rumor about employee training at the Fat Duck. The team goes to a hospital to watch a surgery, to see how they work in a small space. On each table, we see a book and a magnifying glass. The book has a story about adventure, and the magnifying glass helps you find hidden information. Our waiter comes to the table and introduces himself as our storyteller. He will be the narrator of the story. It's unusual, but interesting, and I'm ready. For food, there is just one tasting menu and no other options, which makes it really easy to choose. The wine is a different story. There were 5 different pairings to choose from. They all had different names: playfulness, curiosity, exploration, discovery, and wonderment. Wonderment was the top of the line pairing. It had some rare wines from famous producers and went for £990. But there was no pressure. They weren't pushing it. So I went for the wonderment. I couldn't wait to try the Merceau from Coach Jury. It's really difficult to find and costs thousands of pounds per bottle. My daughter went for playfulness. It's the soft pairing menu. It's non-alcoholic and has green tea and fruity mocktails. The sommelier arrives with a cart for our welcome drink, a nitro-poached aperitif. It looks like a little cloud, and we are told to eat the whole thing at once. It's hard to describe the feeling. It's crisp on the outside, but soft and refreshing on the inside. Surprises like that keep happening during the meal, like it says on the sign. Question everything. I understand why. Nothing is what it seems. Heston really broke with tradition and created his own with this combination of art and food. The Waldorf salad is actually ice cream. The golden pocket watch disappears into the boiling water and turns to soup. Every dish has something magical. It's an incredible interplay of food, flavor, and fantasy. One of the most interesting courses was called The Sound of the Sea. First, they brought out a shell with headphones playing the sounds of waves crashing. Then came an actual wooden box filled with sand and with glass top on it. On the glass was the placement of the food. It was literally a dish, outside the box. Unreal. It's been on the menu since 2007. The dish was a beach scene with sashimi, octopus, caviar, and tapioca sand. It was some of the best seafood I ever had, presented in the craziest way I have ever seen. Before we know it, it's time for the final chapter. The storyteller wheels over a huge model of the building. It looks like a candy store from the 1970s. It opens up. There are 2 scenes and 48 drawers. 2 of the drawers are for us. Inside are handmade sweets, and even the card was edible. The detail in the model is amazing. Upstairs, on one side we see a child's room full of toys. On the other side we see a laboratory. When the model closes, the 2 rooms merge and become the Fat Duck. It's true gastronomic theater, dazzling and delicious. Seeing the children's room in the model was a touching moment. It made me realize how important it is for parents to plant as many seeds as possible for our children by introducing them to new things in the world. Heston's parents planted an important seed when he was 15. If not for that, maybe this amazing wonderland wouldn't be here. And now, my final thoughts on the Fat Duck. The design is simple. This really helps draw your attention to the detail in the food, which were mind-blowing. The service was down to earth. The storytellers were not actors playing characters. They were approachable and more than happy to answer our questions. My favorite was the sommelier. We chatted about wine like old friends. She even showed me the secret door to the hidden wine cellar. The food, how can I describe it? A wonderful, multisensory, gastronomic experience like no other. Using Alice in Wonderland as a childhood reading memory, the magnifying glass, with storytellers instead of waiters, the nitro aperitif, the secret door to the wine cellar. More than 20 years after opening, the Fat Duck is as relevant and respected as ever. In the restaurant business, 2 things are timeless: imagination and quality. And Heston Blumenthal still has both. That does it for this episode. Thank you for joining me, and if you like this video, hit the subscribe button. Come back soon, and together we will go to the next 3 Michelin star restaurant and enjoy another taste of luxury with Alexander the Guest.
You can call me stupid.